Hey everyone, this is RevitUni.com, and in this tutorial I would like to show you how to create realistic curtains, drapes, in Revit. There are some tutorials that you may find online, how to create curtains, but I didn't find anything that looks very realistic. And by realistic I mean that it has this flowy, organic shapes that usually curtains have. You see, there is some kind of flow in this object. And what's important, my method allows you to actually create it using native components. So you see, those are not imported elements, but actually Revit objects. So we can adjust materials of it, for example. So if I will go to materials and change it to, I don't know, let's say linen, you see it will change. And this is how they look like in the project. So once placed, they will look like that. And you can easily use them in renderings, which I tested also in Twinmotion. So you see, this is pretty good effect, much better than anything we may find in the library. So let's get to work. First step would be to download a plugin called Import SAT as FF. I already installed it and it's under Addins, external tool. And here, when I'm in the family editor, I'm able to convert SAT into freeform. Freeform is basically like native Revit objects that can be that cannot be modified, but at least we can apply material to it, which is a big advantage. So I will leave the link to this plugin under the description. You see that there are multiple versions of it. So basically what you need to do is to download one of the versions and unzip it, unpack it under C drive. I will give you an exact path also in the description. Once you install that, remember to do it when the Revit is closed, so you need to reopen it. We need to create such form. Once the plugin is installed, what you need to do is create this form. And you can do it directly in Revit or in other software. I will show you two methods. First would be using Revit, so I will go to New Conceptual Mass and open Metric Mass template. I will go to level 1. Unfortunately, we won't be able to parameterize the curtain width and height. This shape would be too complicated to control this geometry, but in my opinion, it's still worth doing it individually in the project, especially if the visual aspect is important for you. So I will draw a reference plane under level 1, which is, let's say, 100 centimeters wide. And here I will start drawing a reference line using spline through points. This is a very useful tool that we will not find in the standard Revit editor. That's why I'm using Revit Mass environment. And I will start to imitate this shape of the curtain. Okay. Now I will go to the north elevation and create another reference plane signifying height. So let's make it 2 meters high. And then I will copy this line here, somewhere in the middle, and at the top. Now let's create a form out of it. So I will select three of them. And in order to make it more organic, I can just select individual points. Oh, there is a problem already, so maybe I will divide this form into two parts. First here, and second here. Remember to draw everything with reference lines. If we draw it with model lines, they will disappear when we start creating forms. So let's get back to modifications. Maybe it will work right now better. Okay, so I have a couple points and randomly drag them in different directions. I think you get the idea, so I will not waste time on mastering the shape. Once you are satisfied how it looks, let's export it to SAT. So I will go to export, SAT, and let's call it curtain 1. Okay. Now I open a standard Revit family editor. So I will go to family, metric, let's say furniture, and go to my plugin. So go to Addins, import SAT, and import curtain. Okay, great. It looks amazing. Now we can switch to shaded mode in order to see how it looks like. Go to front elevation and do everything else that needs to be done in the family. So here maybe I will add some top rail for the curtains, for the drapes, and that's it. This is the first method. Now I will show you the second method of creating this form. This time I will use Fusion 360, which is also Autodesk free software that allows us to have more control over the shape definition. So this is the method that I'm actually preferring. So I will go to Fusion 360 and you see I already modeled something here, but let's start from scratch. I will create a new design and start by creating a sketch. I select a reference plane and start drawing fit point splines. So we have very similar tool here. But first maybe let's draw a 100 centimeter line so we know how far we should go. Okay. Escape and delete this line. So now the spline, I will do it a little faster, but of course you can adjust the density of that. If you feel like the more dense option is more realistic, do that. Okay, I will go with finish sketch, delete this line, actually I won't need that anymore, and then I go to create form. I select this one and say extrude. Now it's good to have more than 8 faces here, so I will adjust the number of that until it matches the shape I defined. Okay, it looks pretty good. And I will also add some horizontal divisions. Okay, maybe 3 actually is enough. The height is 200 centimeters, so this is what I want. And I click OK. Then I have all these modifications tools, so I have each line, each face that I can now slightly drag, move, making it more organic, more flowy. So it actually might look like wind is blowing through this element, so it might look very nice. It doesn't have a thickness, but we can say that it's negligible to add any thickness to the curtains. Okay. Yeah, you can spend a couple minutes working on it, but of course I will not waste your time showing you how to do it. You get the idea. I will finish the form and now I will just simply export it. So I will go to File, Export, and let's call it Curtains Fusion. Once it's in SAT, I will go back to Addins and try to import that. You see, it works, and I actually can apply and parameterize its material. So this is an example of my final work. I already added a rail at the top. So this is it. I tested it also in Twinmotion, so this is how it looks like. Let me know what you guys think of this method. And of course, remember to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and leave a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you in other videos soon.